Hey, I know the beta is over, but I want to talk about some of the guns that I like the best in this. First of all, M416 was my favorite gun from the beta. I've already mentioned this once. It was easily the best, I think, in my personal opinion. I know people will differ and people won't agree with me at all, but this is the best gun, I think, and easily the best for the operator class. I would just erase whole groups of people with this. I usually ran with the silencer, and I had an angled foregrip on it. It made recoil practically non-existent and worked extremely well, you know, and generally you could sneak up on a lot of people and kill quite a few of them. Second place, it'd be the M16A3, which I know some people do and don't want to see this. I'm actually not a big fan of the M16. I never really liked it in Battlefield 3 that much. I know it wasn't a bad weapon in any way, but it just felt kind of, well, I mean, it's a little too average for me. I like things that work at the extremes, and I mean, it's a good gun, but I'd rather have the M416 like I'm using here. It just really worked well for me. It's just one of my favorite guns in the last 3 Battlefields. I just love it. And then we got the K10 for the mechanic. Oh my god, this gun. This is kind of a god tier guns. It works extremely well. It hits very hard, shoots fairly fast here. There's really little reason to use anything else as a mechanic unless you don't have access to it because you're the wrong faction. Absolutely amazing gun. You can easily use this and dominate entire groups of people. You know, one of the negatives, you don't have the full capacity because of the smaller magazine size, but you know what, didn't really matter. And next up, it would be the MPX. I didn't use it an immense amount, but it was really, really well. I mean, it wasn't as good as the K10 that I'm using right now, but it was actually really good. And the reload was actually pretty awesome. I liked how it worked and how quick it was, but K10 is still a better weapon. Now, if you played the beta at all, you've ran across the 870p Magnum. It's an absolutely brutal weapon up close. It's the Enforcer's best weapon in my opinion. I know some people don't like shotguns, aren't going to like this because I mean, the Enforcer's pretty shotgun heavy, and the battle rifles, they have a little bit too much recoil, for my opinion. You know, I mean, you can control them a little bit with some attachments. I actually didn't mind the Scar H much. But 870p was the best, and then second best was probably the Stakeout. Again, I didn't want to almost pick this over the Scar H. It was pretty close for me, but the rest of the ones in the Enforcer just felt kind of bad. Not in a, you know, impossible to use kind of bad. Just that recoil, and a couple of them were just absolutely brutal. I'd much rather use the shotguns. Of course, you have no distance with shotguns, and I didn't get to actually try slugs. I don't know if they're any good or not, but this thing, this freaking 870 was just god mode most of the time, except for I couldn't hit anybody there for a few seconds. But trust me, it worked extremely well as these people run in front of me, just oblivious that I'm there. Which is what you want to happen every time, right? Next, I have the Scout Elite as the professionals, easily my favorite. I didn't really like any of the other sniper rifles. I'm not a sniper, and I'm definitely not professional, but I really did like the Scout Elite. It worked extremely well. I never usually ever snipe. Occasionally, if I'm really bored of the other teams, you know, in a bad situation, I'll take a sniper rifle just to like almost ease up on them because I know I'm not going to get that many kills. But this thing, it actually worked pretty well. It was a one-shot headshot pretty much every single time. Body shots were at least 2, but you know, that's understandable. And obviously, if it wasn't, you know, 2 shot to the body, it would be overpowered as hell because people would be shooting you in the feet and killing you, right? And other than that, I didn't really like all the other sniper rifles. There's no second place because I don't know. I picked up somebody with the Magnum rounds, and I mean, it did hit extremely hard. It seemed pretty easy, but I only did a couple kills with it. So I hate to say it's actually good, although against vehicles it was brutal. But Scout Elite, definitely my best. And probably one of my favorite sniper rifles I've ever used in a Battlefield series, to tell you the truth. And after that, pistols, I think the 93R is my favorite. It worked extremely well for me. I mean, it's obviously a backup. The best thing about the professional class is you have an amazing secondary. The pistols are great. I wouldn't trade them for any of the other ones I use. I mean, some of them are not bad, but they're not as good as these. 93R is excellent. And other than that, the Tech 9 is also extremely good. Didn't quite like as much as the other one, but not bad. I would definitely use it if I didn't have this, though. I enjoyed it. It shoots a little bit slower, but it still works quite well. Now, if we're talking semi-auto pistols, it was probably the P226. That thing just works really well for me and everything I've ever used. Thanks, guys, for all your support. Hit that like and sub button if you haven't already, which you probably already have, because why wouldn't you have? I'll have a couple of videos down below. I know these weapons, too, are probably all going to be changed, and some of them were changed the very last day on PC, and they didn't change them that much, really.